Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you are new here to the Makeup Savage family, my name is Karen Harris. I love to play with tan girl friendly makeup, so if that is something you are looking for, I hope you will consider subscribing to my channel. I upload every other day, so you do get quite a bit of content from me, and you're definitely going to want to turn on notifications so you get notified every time I upload. Today I am playing with a new palette to the market, the Natasha Denona Bronze Palette. I was so excited when I saw that this was launching. I don't know what it is. I love colorful palettes, but I also love my neutral palettes. So it's always fun to see another one kind of come onto the market. Plus, I love Natasha Denona's eyeshadow formula. I didn't always love her eyeshadow formula, but recently I have really been enjoying her new palette, so it's very exciting for me. I am gonna show you guys how I created this look, and I will show you guys some comparisons. So without further blabbering, let's get into the review. Okay guys, so full transparency, I've only used this palette twice. This is the second eye look I created with this palette. I also did wear it yesterday, so I just want to let you guys know it's not actually a review, it's more like a first-ish impressions. But I have tried quite a few Natasha Denona palettes in the past. I've also tried a lot of neutral palettes in the past, so I do have some different things to show you. Without further blabbering though, I kind of want to swatch this. I actually swatched this on my dad just a second ago, so I will include his swatches as well. He is quite a bit darker than me. I don't know what his foundation shade would be, obviously, because I'm not gonna like drag him over to a makeup store and try to color match him, but he's quite a bit of a, he's more like a medium deep skin tone, I would say, if I had to kind of guess. Obviously I'm not an expert, but seeing palettes swatch on his skin tone really blows my mind, because it really changes your perspective on how things apply on my skin tone versus somebody even a little bit deeper than me. I think the palette looks beautiful on his skin tone, but wow, it really changes up the undertones and stuff like that. These shimmers really pop on him, so I'll show you guys those swatches in a second here. But here is the first row swatch on my arm. So we have True Copper, which is a beautiful shimmer shade. Then we have Suntan, Sundown, Deep Dive, and Rhodium. Rhodium is so stunning. It's like a plummy color. Oh my goodness, I just chef's kiss on these shadows. And of course the shade Deep Dive is her cream to powder formula, and I'm like obsessed with that. I literally just want her to make a palette with just cream to powder formulas. So yeah, that's kind of my theory on that. So here is the next row, and let me go ahead and swatch. So there's the next row. We have Magma, we have High Degree, Alloy, Ridge, and True Bronze. So stunning. And then the last row is 4 shimmers and 1 matte shade. Okay, of course I ran out of swatch space, but hopefully you guys can see it. So we have Gloaming, Palladium, Bliss, Silk, and Beach. Bliss is probably like my secret favorite shade, because it's like this beautiful brown, but it also has like a lot of red in it. It almost looks pink and gold. Like, it's stunning. So I'm kind of obsessed with that shade, because I didn't realize that that was like, I don't know, it looks brown in the pan, but when you swatch it, it's like this beautiful, let me show you again. It's like a red. Like, what? Do you guys see that? Oh my god, and the shift is amazing. So it's a little bit of a gem in this palette, which I'm really excited about. So let me go ahead and show you the swatches on my dad right here. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed those swatches. Hopefully you found them helpful. Definitely let me know down in the comments if you did. And of course, feel free to give my dad a shout out because he is definitely stepping outside of his comfort zone, helping me out with those swatches. So I hope you guys like those. As far as this eyeshadow look, I did film how I created it. So now we're going to go ahead and watch that. Okay guys, so I'm going to film the demo portion of this video. As you can see, I am barefaced because I always like to start with my eye looks and then put my foundation on just to help with fallout and things like that. My go-to primer always is my P. Louise base. Okay, so I did use this palette yesterday and I think I'm going to do the same-ish look. So I basically used my one brush. I love this Wayne Goss number 16 brush with Natasha Denona's cream to powder formula. So yesterday I started off with the lighter shades, but I think today I'm going to go straight into the cream to powder. Actually, I'm going to use this ColourPop brush first. I changed my mind because I want to see how this looks when I start with this. Now, I love the cream to powder formula. I know it's in the Metropolis palette and some people don't like it, which I'm actually kind of shocked because it's honestly like the most blendable, most blendy, creamy matte formula I've ever seen. Like, it's so delicious. I can't even handle how much I love this formula, and I think it just blends so nicely. Like, this is an eye look. I could just blend this and tap one more shade on the lid and I'd be on my merry way. I hope that Natasha Denona comes out with a palette just with these creamy mattes, because I'd be in creamy matte heaven. So you guys know I don't usually always start off with the darkest shade, but I just wanted to switch it up. So let's go in now to this shade called Magma. It's like a beautiful chocolate brown. And I'm going to concentrate that over the darker shade Deep Dive. And I'm going to keep that kind of in the inner half. And then blend that in. Okay, and then just to use my 16 brush because I had hyped that up, I'm going to go into the shade Ridge, which is like a nice mustardy brown, and I'm going to kind of focus that on the whole crease and blend up into the brow bone just to kind of diffuse it. I don't know, I think this brush has a ton of glitter in it from a different eye look because Ridge is a matte, but that's okay. Okay, so I feel like I really toned that down now. You guys know now we're going to go into my favorite part, which is applying some shimmer shades on my eyelids. So yesterday I used some of Alloy and True Copper. I think I'm going to do Silk today. And I think I might want to try and spray my brush because I had quite a bit of fallout yesterday with the other shades I tried. And kind of want to keep it concentrated. I'm also using this Big Daddy Jumbo Blender from Sonia G, her Sky brush set. Oh, see, if you just wet it, it just glides on. I need to actually try this as a blender. I like how big this brush is, so I thought it would kind of mimic like a fingertip application of a shadow. Ooh, I love that color. Okay, now I'm going to go into True Copper and kind of hit the middle just to help it blend into the brown. I like that so much. Okay, so now I'm going to go back in to Deep Dive with that ColourPop brush and just kind of hit it at the ends here. And I definitely got a ton of that shimmer shadow in my crease, which, you know, I'm getting more used to putting shimmers in my crease. It doesn't really bother me as much as it used to. So we're breaking all the rules. But that's basically what I did for my eye look yesterday. And then yesterday I was feeling like, let me add a little bit more oomph. And I had bought this little shadow after the Sephora sale because, you know, I'm a genius like that. This is the Touch and Soul Metalist Sparkling Foil Pigment. And everyone was like raving about these. And I'm like, I don't get it. Is it worth the hype? Because they're discounted to like 13 bucks. But I mean, it's still a lot of money. And I don't really reach for my single shadows enough, but I was like, let me buy one. So I bought the shade. This is, what shade did I buy? This is the one that's like a green red flip. Interesting. But I just took this same brush and oh my God, just look at this color. It just transformed the Natasha Denona shades on my lids. And I've been adding single shadows to my eyeshadow palette looks, and you guys said that was okay for me to do because I said, hey, that way I can make some use out of my singles, because if I am always reviewing eyeshadow palettes and I don't, you know, play with my singles, it's kind of a waste. So yeah, I really loved the look this did. Like, I really loved how the shadow like really amped up the look. So now I'm kind of like, should I buy all of these? I'm not going to. And they're all sold out actually right now on Sephora anyway. So you can't buy them. But I just love that like hint. It's almost like Natasha Denona's Lime Chrome in the Gold palette. It gives like that hint of green. Oh, it's so pretty. Anyway, I'm going to finish up my face makeup and I'll be back to show you guys the final look. Okay guys, so here is the final look. I am obsessed with this eyeshadow look. I just feel like this is such a great like go-to look. I can wear this in the daytime. I can wear this in the nighttime. It's so sultry and perfect and goes great with a tan in my opinion. I didn't have to really reach for anything else to create this eye look. I did throw in the Touch and Soul shadow just because I've been wanting to test this out and I've been neglecting it thoroughly. So I finally tried that out and I do really, really like that formula as well. It is so beautiful and pigmented, so small review on that. On my lips is the shade Focus from Biba Beauty. You guys know I love these Biba Beauty shades and I love how like chocolatey and creamy it looks on my lips. So if you haven't tried Biba Beauty yet, you definitely should. As far as the palette, honestly, I've had zero problems with it. I love Deep Dive. Again, I wish she had included more of the creamy mattes in here, but that's okay. I do love how they kind of are peppered in throughout her palettes, and honestly, just try it like I said in the demo. See if you can find a good blending brush to use it with, because I swear it's so good. So anyway, I did grab my other Natasha Denona palettes to just kind of do some comparisons. So these are her other two palettes that she came out with, are in this format. These are the $65 palette. So here is the Bronze palette against the Sunrise palette. Now I did buy the Sunset palette I think she has, and I didn't love the formula at the time, so I did end up returning that one. And I did buy the Sunrise and I did end up keeping this. So here they are. I definitely see some comparisons with some of the Shimmer Shades, but I just like how curated this one is. I could definitely see myself taking this one like traveling, whereas if I took this one with me, I wouldn't have all the browns I needed to create like a neutral brown look. So just wanted to show you guys a comparison there. I'm not going to swatch all of these because it's going to take forever, but I think side by side kind of helps too. So here is the Love palette with the Bronze palette. Obviously, I don't see many comparison shades there at all, but I mean that plum shade called Commitment in this palette, let's try it just for funsies since we're, okay, see, they're kind of similar, not really, because the one is more of a purple, but I mean, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I just love these palettes. Okay, so here's the one that a lot of people have been like, oh, it's so similar to the Metropolis, so I don't need the bronze. Probably true. But obviously the Metropolis has more mid-tone shades, whereas the Bronze also has that deepening shade. That's a brown. I don't feel like the Metropolis necessarily has that. I feel like if I wanted to deepen up the eyeshadow, I'd have to go in with that blue or that dark green. I mean, this brown is pretty dark, but that's definitely not the darkest shade in this palette. So I don't know. Hopefully this is helping you guys. This is probably my favorite Natasha Denona palette. But this bronze one though, it's like shooting up to the top here pretty quick just because of how good it is. So this is my least favorite Natasha Denona palette. That's something I'm sure of. Don't ask me to pick a favorite because it's so hard. But here is the Star palette. And this is the bronze palette. I definitely prefer the bronze palette to the Star palette. This one just has a lot of repetitive shades. And I don't love the formula on that one. And then this is my second favorite Natasha Denona palette. And this is, I think, just gonna work so beautifully together. Basically, that Touch and Soul shade I used today is, I think, a dupe to the Lime Chrome shade in this palette. So yeah, I'm super duper excited to maybe pair these two together. I think that'll be beautiful. And then her Big Ol' Daddy Neutral palette is the Biba palette. And this is the bronze palette next to it. I picked up Biba because I had one of those Sephora coupons and I was like, you know what, let me grab this. It'll be such a great everyday neutral palette to just wear every day. I don't wear it every day, obviously, because I'm too busy testing out eyeshadow palettes, but I would definitely say that I like the bronze color story better than the Biba palette at this time. And then I just grabbed some of my all-star like nude palettes, neutral palettes. I definitely wanted to show you guys the bronze palette against the Scott Barnes palette. I definitely see some similarities here. This is the Snatchural palette. Now the bronze palette is much cheaper and it is a female owned makeup brand. So I mean, I would suggest supporting that because I'm all about, you know, women and supporting women in the beauty industry. I also had to pull out the Quarter Rosa because the Quarter Rosa is definitely my favorite neutral palette of 2020 so far. Although I have a feeling bronze is going to give it a run for its money. This one definitely has more of those burgundy shades, but I feel like I'm in neutral palette heaven between the Quarter Rosa, the bronze, and this palette. Holy shit, this one is good. This just restocked, I believe, on Sephora as well as on Artist Couture. This is the Supreme Nudes palette. So, I mean, honestly, if you were looking for like great neutral palette recommendations from 2020, this one, and the Quarter Rosa is where it's at. So good. And of course, I had to go and pull out my favorite neutral palette. This is the Soft Glam. I honestly feel like if you have the Soft Glam, you kind of have a lot of the shimmers in matte form on the bronze palette side. So that's kind of cool. I think if you're a lighter complexion, Soft Glam has like that brow bone shade for you and things like that. But I think, oh my gosh, these two paired together is just perfection. So I'm so pumped at all these amazing neutral palettes I have. And then I grabbed, of course, the mini nude palette from Natasha Denona. I don't love this palette, but I actually bought it when I met Natasha Denona, so it's signed by her, and of course I'd never get rid of it. My favorite mini palette from Natasha is her gold mini palette. So I think these two would play really well together as well. Since this one doesn't really have a lot of neutral mattes, I think that these would pair really, really well together as well. Oh my god, really well. Sorry, I'm just blabbering on, but honestly, I really like this palette. I am so pumped. I know it's nothing new. It hasn't like reinvented the wheel, but it's so nice to see something like this from Natasha Denona because, again, I love her formula. And I think this is like the new Naked palette for me, if that makes sense. Like, I used to love the original Urban Decay Naked palette. They did discontinue that and then they came out with the Reloaded. And the Reloaded, I think, is a mess. Honestly, I don't like that formula. I don't like the color story. But if I had to resurrect a palette in like a 2020 version, it would be this. I think this really embodies the love I had for the original Urban Decay Naked palette. So hopefully this was helpful. Let me know what other kinds of videos you would like to see with this palette. I don't know if I could do like a 3 looks deal. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I really, really like this, and you guys will definitely see it in my June ranking video. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will go ahead and link my Natasha Denona playlist at the end here for you guys so you can watch some more and see my thoughts on those. And I will see you guys in my next video soon. Bye!